Our planet is a vast landscape of wonders, but there are certain boundaries that humanity was never meant to cross. Behind heavy gates, high-tech security, and nature's own deadly defenses lie places shrouded in absolute secrecy. From islands where time has stood still for 60,000 years to underground vaults designed to survive the end of the world, these are locations where your presence is strictly forbidden. If you attempt to enter, you face imprisonment, or worse, you may never be seen again. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on the most restricted locations on Earth. Deep in the Bay of Bengal lies North Sentinel Island, a place that looks like a tropical paradise from above. However, this island is home to the Sentinelese, the most isolated tribe on the planet. They have rejected all contact with the outside world for over 60,000 years. Anyone who dares to approach the shore is met with a lethal rain of arrows and spears. The Indian government has established a 3-mile exclusion zone around the island, enforced by the Navy. This is not just to protect explorers from the tribe's legendary hostility, but also to protect the Sentinelese themselves. Because they have been isolated for so long, they have no immunity to common modern diseases, meaning a simple cold could wipe out their entire civilization. Thousands of miles away, off the coast of Brazil, sits Ilha da Queimada Grande, better known as Snake Island. This place is so dangerous that the Brazilian government has banned all civilians from setting foot on it. It is the only home of the golden lancehead viper, one of the most venomous snakes in the world. Experts estimate there is one snake for every square meter of land. Their venom is so potent it can actually melt human flesh. The only structure on the island is an automated lighthouse, which was once maintained by a keeper until he and his entire family were reportedly killed by snakes that entered through their windows. Moving from the dangers of nature to the secrets of men, we find the Vatican Apostolic Archives. For centuries, this has been the subject of countless conspiracy theories. Behind the stone walls of the Vatican lie 53 miles of shelving containing documents dating back over 1,000 years. While scholars can request access to specific documents, the archives themselves are off-limits to the public. Rumors suggest the vaults hold everything from evidence of extraterrestrial life to ancient texts that could rewrite human history. It remains one of the most guarded intellectual properties in existence. In the desert of Nevada, United States, lies a place that officially didn't exist for decades, Area 51. This highly classified military facility is protected by motion sensors, camo dudes in unmarked trucks, and authorization to use deadly force against trespassers. While the government eventually admitted it as a testing site for experimental aircraft, the public remains convinced that the hangars hold crashed UFOs and alien technology. The airspace above is the most restricted in the world, and even military pilots are forbidden from entering the zone without specific clearance. High above the Arctic Circle, on the remote island of Spitsbergen, lies the Svalbard Global Seed Vault. Often called the Doomsday Vault, this facility is built deep into a mountainside to withstand nuclear explosions and rising sea levels. It houses millions of seed samples from every corner of the globe. The goal is to provide a backup for the world's food supply in case of a global catastrophe. There are no permanent staff, and the security is immense. It is a silent sentinel for the future of humanity, locked away in the permafrost. In the waters of Italy, the small island of Poveglia holds a darker history. During the Black Death, it served as a quarantine station where thousands of plague victims were sent to die. In the 1920s, a mental hospital was built there, where a doctor allegedly performed horrific experiments on patients. Today, the island is completely abandoned and off-limits to locals and tourists. It is said that the soil is 50% human ash, and those who have managed to sneak onto the island report an overwhelming sense of dread and the sounds of phantom screams. Turning to the east, we find the Ice Grand Shrine in Japan. This is the holiest Shinto site in the country, dedicated to the sun goddess Amaterasu. The shrine is surrounded by high wooden fences, and only the highest-ranking priests and members of the Japanese imperial family are allowed to enter. Every 20 years, the shrine is completely demolished and rebuilt to symbolize the Shinto concepts of death and rebirth. For the rest of the world, this sacred site remains a mystery visible only from behind the fences. Off the coast of Iceland, a new island named Surtsey rose from the sea in 1963 following a massive volcanic eruption. Since then, it has been used exclusively for scientific research. It is one of the most pristine natural laboratories on Earth. To ensure that humans do not contaminate the ecosystem, only a few scientists are allowed to visit, and they must follow strict protocols. Even a single seed accidentally dropped from a scientist's shoe could ruin decades of research into how life colonizes new land. In the heart of Moscow, rumors persist about Metro 2, a secret underground railway system built during the era of Joseph Stalin. It is believed to run parallel to the public metro, but at much greater depths. This hidden network supposedly connects the Kremlin with various government offices in a massive underground bunker. While the Russian government has never confirmed its existence, urban explorers claim to have found secret entrances. It remains a Cold War relic that is still likely in use today. Finally, we look at the Niihau Island in Hawaii, known as the Forbidden Isle. Purchased by a wealthy family in 1864, the island remains private property. The only residents are the descendants of the original inhabitants who live without roads, running water, or internet. To preserve their traditional lifestyle and culture, the owners have banned all outsiders from visiting. Unless you are invited by a resident or the owners, you can only see the island from a helicopter or a boat. These places remind us that despite our modern technology and desire for exploration, there are still corners of the world that remain hidden. Whether protected by governments, sacred traditions, or the lethal forces of nature, these forbidden zones keep their secrets well. Perhaps some things are better left undiscovered.